Thank you, Lily. That's one of my favorite songs. Good morning, and welcome to Monte Vista Unitarian Universalist congregation. My name is Carissa Moore. I am the treasurer of your board of trustees, and here are this morning's announcements. The justice team is meeting at noon today after the service. On Tuesday, we will be holding the Christmas Eve candlelight service at 4 p.m. The executive board meeting will be scheduled for January 7th. The community team is meeting on January 12th. The spiritual life team has a planning retreat scheduled for the 18th of January. And then please mark your calendars for the mid-year budget review meeting on January 26th following services. The work party previously scheduled for Saturday, January 11th has been postponed so that we may hold a memorial service for our friend and fellow congregant, Steve Shirley, at 11 a.m. that morning. The administrative team will announce a new work party date after the holidays. And on that note, I will turn it over to Reverend Maggie Yenoki.
Good morning, everyone. It is good to be here together. And we're here together with sore hearts after learning of the death of our beloved congregant, Stephen Shirley, last Sunday. Shirley Ussery, his beloved, is here with us today, along with her granddaughter, Savannah. So we offer you our compassion and condolences, and it's hard. It's so hard. But we do what we do, and that's why we're a spiritual community. So we will surround Shirley with our love as we all go together through this period of loss. This morning, we will enjoy the worship associate gifts of Laura Mulroy, and I will turn the pulpit to her at this time.
We begin our worship service by sounding the bowl 3 times, once in memory of those who came before us, once in celebration of all who are with us today, both on site and online, and once in anticipation of all who are yet to come. Please join me in our welcoming psalm, which will be just one verse of O Come All Ye Faithful. Please rise. Each Sunday, we light our chalice as a symbol of our UU faith, and this morning, I would like to invite up my husband, Sean Gallagher, to light the chalice. Sean is a lifelong UU who introduced me to our faith over 30 years ago. And today's chalice lighting words come from the Reverend Nathan Ryan and the Reverend Steve J. Crump. Take the long view. No, not exactly how, but that we will get through. Take the long view. Know what you feel now. Know also that outlooks and feelings change anew. They do. Take the long view. Look around and know that we are not alone. Give and receive. Help and be helped. Breathe in and out. Take the long view. Know not exactly how, but that we will get through. In that spirit, we light the chalice. Now please join in singing our invocation, first in English and then in Spanish, and please remain standing as we recite our covenant. Please join me. We affirm that love is the greatest purpose of this congregation. The search for truth is our constant star, and service is our prayer. We pledge our hearts, minds, and hands to challenge injustice with courage, to make choices for a healthier planet, and to live out our Unitarian Universalist values every day as beloved community. Thus do we covenant with each other and with it all that is sacred in life. And at this time, I'd like to invite our preschool teacher, Brianna Tidwell, to share with us a wisdom tale.
This is The Mouse Before Christmas. On the night before Christmas, there was a young mouse who was stirring and whirling all through the house. He longed to see Santa, that jolly old soul, so he stayed awake late and crept from his hole. Out in the kitchen, Mouse stacked up a treat, chocolate chip cookies for Santa to eat. He made not a sound as he hurried and scurried, but Puss was asleep, so he needn't have worried. Now onto the fireplace, Mouse gave a sigh. Though the cookies were heavy, he held the plate high. Next, where to hide, Mouse looked around quick. Snug in a pot, he could spy on Saint Nick. Mouse waited and wondered and almost dozed off until hoofbeats and sleigh bays came from aloft. From out from the fireplace, bang, crash, and tumble, popped merry old Nick in a heap and a jumble. Mouse was delighted his wish had come true, but what now, he wondered, what more could he do? As Nick stuffed the stocking, which started to sag, Mouse tippy-toed near for a peek in his bag. Soon Santa was done, time to hurry away. He snatched up his snack and sprang out to his sleigh. With a swoosh and a swish, Mouse was bundled inside, but down in the darkness was no place to ride. It's stuffy, it's crowded, Mouse started to shout as he squeaked, wiggled, and scrambled to find a way out. He soon spied a place to poke his head free, then beheld all around him sights splendid to see. He was high above earth in the winter night sky, streaking past stars in a sleigh that could fly. Mouse loved this new feeling, and when he looked down, far distance below shone the lights of his town. Onto rooftops, down chimneys, old Santa did race. Mouse marveled the reindeer could keep up the pace. They soared past high mountains, skimmed low near a river. The twists, dips, and turns set his tummy a quiver. Over bridges and castles and towers they flew. The rooftops of London gave Mouse a great view. Thrilling sights waited in each foreign land. In Holland the windmills by moonlight looked great land. Mouse had never imagined a world so wide. He lost count of wonders he'd seen on this ride. Crossing cities and countries over the earth and sea, past the Sphinx and two towers of Miss Liberty. At the end of the night, at the very last house, Santa peeked in a sack. Why, what's that? A young mouse. Mouse was so startled, he feared he'd just squeak, but in Santa's kind gaze, he found he could speak. Oh, Santa, I'm sorry for sneaking this ride, but your bag was so tempting, I climbed right inside. Santa just chuckled, little friend, don't you worry. Hop on my hat, you'll be home in a hurry. Mouse clung to the fringe, the wind chilled his face. The rocket-like sleigh zoomed and hurtled through space. Back home, safe and sound, there were presents for all. The one Mouse liked best was a hat marked size small. Then Santa crouched down till his beard touched the floor. The friends waved goodbye through the little front door. It was so late at night, Mouse was ready for bed, but he wanted to try on his new hat on his head. It was just the right size, not too big, not too small, a hat just like Santa's. Mouse felt proud and tall. Mouse snuggled down, letting dreams fill his eyes, hearing words meant for him from a voice deep inside. If you do all the things that a good mouse should do, don't be surprised when your wishes come true. Merry Christmas, dear mouse. Merry Christmas to you. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, we will sing our children out to class. Our children always take the children's chalice to their classes. And now we have a special holiday message from the president of our Unitarian Universalist Association, the Reverend Dr. Sophia Betancourt.
Beloveds, as we enter into our holiday season once again, I am suffused with gratitude for all of the ways that you have been living their faith boldly in the past year. In our congregation,
with a local charity that aligns with our values. And this month, we continue to share our plate with 111 Hope Foundation. It's a 501c3 founded by two of our members, Caitlin and Emmanuel Salgado. Together, we are making a real difference, and now we have our chance to support them. Please come forward with your generous gifts of support and your donations for the Beta Center Food Bank at the Inland Valley Hope Partners.
Was it? No. It's one of those days. And it's all okay. In our community, we enjoy sharing the things in our lives that are heavy for us and the things that give us joy and hope. We call them our joys and concerns, or joys and sorrows. I have one from the basket that was put in there by Maribel. She writes about a friend of hers named Joe. He's been a dear friend since they were 12 in junior high. But right now, Joe is struggling with lots of health issues due to an immune disorder and a recent fall. So he needs love and renewed joy. So we send that to him. And she is grateful for the care that he gave to others in his nursing career. There are some other things that are happening in our world with the shooting that happened at the Christian school last week, and so many difficult things that are almost too many to list. But the one that is the most painful for us as a community right now is Steve Shirley's death last Sunday. It came as a shock to us, and I hope that those of you in the community received the announcement that we sent out about that. We just want to let you know that the date has been determined, like Carissa mentioned. We have chosen Saturday, January 11th at 11 o'clock for his funeral. So I hope you all plan to be here for that. And before we have a beautiful musical meditation that was created by another congregation in our fellowship or in our denomination, I'd like you to join me in a time of prayer. Spirit of life, Spirit of love, Spirit that binds us throughout the year with all that we walk through together, all that we celebrate, and all that breaks our hearts. We come together on this morning with both the joy and the excitement of the Christmastide and also the difficulties that this time of year often presents for those who are struggling with loss. We are in grief here over the sudden loss of our beloved Steve, and this is the place to come. This is the place to be. This is our community, and this is what we do when we have such a loss. We come together, we love each other, and we strengthen each other. We hold the cares of the world in our hearts as well, and while we breathe together here in this beautiful sanctuary that we have created, we are grateful. We are waiting on these darkest of days. We are optimistic. We breathe on the flame that brings light to the world, and we strengthen the embers in our hearts as we share the love we know, the love we have with a world that needs it so much. We are gratefully and respectfully together in community. Blessed be, and amen.
Please join in meditation as we watch a video on Meditation on Breathing by Sarah Dan Jones. And this video was first shared with us by the First Unitarian Society of Denver when we were all worshiping at home in lockdown. Today's reading is called I Want to Be with People, and it's by the Reverend Dana Worsnop. She's the minister at the UU Church of Ventura. Often people say that they love coming to a place with so many like-minded people. I know just what they're getting at, and I know that they aren't getting it quite right. I don't want to be with a bunch of people who think just like me. I want to be in a beloved community where I don't have to think like everyone else to be loved, to be eligible for salvation. I want to be with people who value compassion, justice, love, and truth, though they have different thoughts and opinions about all sorts of things. I want to be with independent-minded people of good heart. I want to be with people who have many names and no name at all for God. I want to be with people who see in me goodness and dignity, who also see my failings and foibles, and who still love me. I want to be with people who feel their interconnection with all existence and let it guide their footfalls upon the earth. I want to be with people who see life as a paradox and don't always rush to resolve it. I want to be with people who are willing to walk the tightrope that is life and will hold my hand as I walk mine. I want to be with people who let church call them into a different way of being in the world. I want to be with people who support, encourage, and even challenge each other to higher and more ethical living. I want to be with people who inspire one another to follow the call of the Spirit. I want to be with people who covenant to be honest, engaged, and kind, who strive to keep their promises and hold me to the promises I make. I want to be with people who give of themselves, who share their hearts and minds and gifts. I want to be with people who know that human community is often warm and generous, sometimes challenging, and almost always a grand adventure. In short, I want to be with people like you.
That was Charlie Brown. I knew he would show up. Thank you, Lily. It was beautiful. The year-end holidays form such a wonderful setting for the deeper conversations that we feel bubbling up so naturally at this time of year. The old, tired year is drawing to a close, and we await the new with determination and fingers crossed. The relationship between our earth and sun is reaching its furthest boundary, and the music of the season teases our childhood memories out of hiding, and all of those ghosts of our Christmases past come out to play. There are so many thresholds as the year-end holidays unfold that mark for us the opportunity to ponder things we don't normally consider much as the weeks zoom past. One of the most common conversations among the ministers that I'm friends with or those that I follow on social media, though, is our shared concern that our communities are well supported and accompanied in these times of such unusual difficulty. And that somehow we can point to a lodestar that is an affirming celebration of continued growth that gives meaning to our every experience and helps us process the suffering that we see and the suffering that we long to alleviate. Like the star that the astrologers followed. Notice I didn't call them wise men. When they were on their way to find the newborn Christ child, we too are following our hearts, minds, and souls toward our own lodestar, our best paths toward wholeness, individuality, and as a congregation, through unknown times that are uncharitable and most likely uncharitable. We can be assured that the hardest thing we will go through is not what we've been through. And the greatest gifts of growth to come from them are undefined yet as well, but we can shape them as we choose. We will continue to offer these gifts of growth as we serve one another in this congregation, holding the space that is needed for one another to make meaning, as we offer the safe, supportive container where our spiritual lives can flourish. We hold Shirley's sore heart as she grieves and continues to honor Steve's memory in her life. We offer compassion toward the success of our Montessori school that is struggling right now, and we seek guidance and wisdom in our decision-making for the good of the congregation's prosperity. We are growing through everything that we're going through. As part of my reflection on this past year as your minister, I see so many examples of growth that has come out of the hard things that we have gone through, individually and together. Many of you will remember that I was your brand spanking new minister when COVID-19 closed us down, just 3 weeks after I began to serve you. And when I look at who you have become since then, I see a congregation that held one another, even if it was through Zoom, and supported one another to become closer, kinder, braver, and more wise than might have ever been possible otherwise. No, I'm not thankful for COVID, but I see how you grew through all that you went through. And we keep growing. We fixed this leaky roof. We sought grant money to create the audiovisual technology that we use every Sunday. We replaced the underground pipes for our water and gas service. We created new ways of governing ourselves, engaging sociocracy to ensure that more people are seen and all voices are heard and all congregants are honored as we grow stronger yet. And yes, we added the fire alarm system to the Montessori school. Continuing to prosper and strengthen toward greater sustainability. The growth we celebrate today springs from all that we have been through and is rooted in the daily lives of those who have struggled with or are in the middle of never before experiences and very little expertise. It sprouts up from our brave, open-hearted engagement with this sometimes dangerous and ever-shifting world. And we are growing through what we're going through. And we do so because we insist on seeing one another through. And we help each other to find meaning when it might be an easier decision to just quit. We cling to our hopeful expectation that things will shift soon, perhaps suddenly. And who can say no to relief that could come with the next sunrise? It is possible. Our Unitarian ancestor, Charles Dickens, gives us the gift of that optimism in A Christmas Carol, when Ebenezer Scrooge was awakened to a new life that Christmas morning long ago. But like Ebenezer, that cantankerous spirit that he had 2 days before Christmas might seem as if it is close with us today, hovering nearby as an option that just might be tempting and justified. But let's avoid those visits with the ghosts who changed him if we can. And yes, there are more hard things for us to endure as our opportunities to grow continue to oblige us. But John O'Donohue reminds us in his unpublished works that at Christmas time, time seems to deepen, and we can see and hear the guidance that we seek a bit more clearly. The Celtic imagination knew that each day is a sacred space. Christmas reminds us to glory in the simplicity and the wonder of the day. It is a gift of our soul's growth to be able to welcome the extraordinary into our vision as we look toward these precious days just ahead of us. We have been given such immense possibilities, and we desperately need to let our souls breathe. We take care of ourselves, and especially those among us who are suffering. We're stronger when we sense we belong and we long to serve. One way that we can serve is to offer our hopes together in ritual. Today we have a ritual prepared for us for this new winter season that has just begun as of 1:21 a.m. yesterday when winter arrived. We have a ritual here up front. Jaryus, if I could have a hand mic, that would be helpful. Thank you. Keeps surprising Jaryus, keeping him on his toes. Thank you very much. Carissa, if you could come up. We're going to do a ritual this morning that will begin with a welcome to the directions, the spirit of life that always walks in the ways of healing and good. So our welcome to the four directions is taken from our hymnal, and it's reading number 446, and Carissa will help me read them. Yeah. So let's have everyone stand, and we will face the directions that we follow. We start as the reading starts with calling to peace.
Why am I getting feedback? Spirit of the east, spirit of air, of morning and springtime, be with us. Yeah. Okay, is that better? Okay. Spirit of the east, spirit of air, of morning and springtime, be with us as the sun rises, in times of beginning, times of planting. Inspire us with the fresh breath of courage as we go forth into new adventures. Spirit of the south, Spirit of fire of noontime and summer, be with us through the heat of the day and help us to be ever growing. Warm us with strength and energy for the work that awaits us. Spirit of the West, Spirit of water, of evening and autumn, be with us as the sun sets and helps us to enjoy a rich harvest. Flow through us with a cooling, healing quietness and bring us peace. Spirit of the North, Spirit of earth, of nighttime and winter, be with us in the darkness, in the time of gestation. Ground us in the wisdom of the changing seasons as we celebrate the spiraling journey of our lives.
And as we each take our seats, we invite the spirit of life that is above, below, and within, the spirit of self-compassion, the spirit of wisdom and vision, the spirit of love and humility that we have at our center, to enliven our perception of the unseen protectors and guiding energies that walk with us and honor our journeys toward this season ahead. May it be filled with unity, wholeness, and prosperity. I will offer a beautifully written prosperity spell that was prepared for us by our own Jeannie Coates. And then, as you're comfortable, please come forward and choose a tea light from the basket on your right. And we will light the tea light and you will place it with your wishes for a prosperous winter season. Place it on the table there. And as you go, please take a votive candle for yourself to bring home and to light maybe as just before you have a meal, or to have in your home to light to remind you of the wishes that we are and the spell that we have here today as our prayers continue. Here are Jeannie's words. For the good of all I do allow, let the way be opened now. For I accept and do believe that what I ask I shall receive. Flowing forth and back again, energy both out and in, as I invoke and do intend the energy I receive and send. Lord and Lady, by your grace, pour your blessing on this place. As I ask, let it be done. Help from all directions come. Spirit, earth, air, fire, water, I call on you as Gaia's daughter. Let abundance come to be. Grant us peace and prosperity. Bless every corner of our land, every stone and grain of sand, school and church and sanctuary, with abundance and prosperity. No will work to make it so, to make our bounty grow and grow. And if Our Lady doth agree, then manifest, so mote it be. I invite you to come forward. That's right.
Our sending song is Answering the Call of Love, which some of you might recognize as the originally named Standing on the Side of Love. And the composer, Reverend Jason Shelton, chose to update the lyrics and title when it was brought to his attention that for many this was ableist language to say that we stand on the side of love. So he chose to rewrite it, and it is now Answering the Call of Love. So please stand as you are willing and able to sing. Yes, to answer. Please be seated, and I will invite Sean up to extinguish our chalice with the words of the Reverend Kim Mason. Spirit of love, source of hope, as the winter holidays come upon us, help us to find gratitude for the complexities of life. In the midst of loss and pain, may we find comfort and peace. In a season of joy, may we know that the light and warmth of community shines for all of us. Amen, and blessed be. And please join in our unison benediction. We bless one another. What is new emerges from what has been. What once was never fully leaves us. Still, it is the old that gives way for the new. For all that has been, thank you. For all that is to come, yes. Now please remain seated as we appreciate the postlude from Lily.
There was a little blurb in the announcements. There will be no justice meeting this month. We're going to just enjoy Christmas instead. So, yeah, sorry the calendar just repeats without asking us if we really mean it. But as we reach these darkest hours after this year's winter solstice, the inner light of the soul is so much more essential. May we always look for true grace, especially in the eyes of a child. And may our lights let them know that the world still has many, many kind people. Blessed be.